And we're live on Facebook, Mick.
Okay, I will call the regular monthly board meeting of Shell Rock River Watershed to order. July 14th, 2020, time is 8:32. Location, we're doing a teleconference as provided by the Minnesota Statute 103D.021 sub 1. Leah, would you please call roll?
Manager Pistorius,
Here.
Manager Kramer,
Here.
Manager Bakken,
He's muted.
Here.
Manager DeBoer,
Here.
Manager Hanson,
Here.
Manager Pasuski,
Here.
Manager Delger.
Here. Okay, we'll go on to the consent agenda. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as is?
So move.
Made by Manager DeBoer. Do I have a second?
A second.
Second by Manager Kramer. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call roll.
Manager Pistorius,
Aye.
Manager Kramer,
Aye.
Manager Bakken,
Aye.
Manager DeBoer,
Aye.
Manager Hanson,
Aye.
Manager Pasuski,
Aye.
Manager Delger.
Aye. Consent agenda is approved. We'll go on to the approval of the agenda. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions?
Mr. Chair, there is no additions, corrections, or deletions at this time.
So do I have a motion to approve as is?
So move.
By Manager Pistorius. Do I have a second?
Pasuski, yes.
Manager Pasuski seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call roll.
Manager Pistorius,
Aye.
Manager Kramer,
Aye.
Manager Bakken,
Aye.
Manager DeBoer,
Aye.
Manager Hanson,
Aye.
Manager Pasuski,
Yeah, probably. And then I'll
Aye.
yeah. So I'll give you back.
Manager Delger.
Aye, motion carried. With that, I'll turn it over to the Administrator, Andy Henschel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The first item under administrator item is item A, motion to approve the Shell Rock River Watershed District's committee appointments. The staff has not received any comments back on the appointments, so it's staff's recommendation to approve the appointments as is.
Do I have a motion?
So
Approve
move.
as made by Manager DeBoer. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Manager Kramer. Any discussion? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Manager Pistorius,
Aye.
Manager Kramer,
Aye.
Manager Bakken,
Aye.
Manager DeBoer,
Aye.
Manager Hanson,
Aye.
Manager Pasuski,
Aye. Did you say Pasuski? Aye.
Manager Delger.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you. Item B is an update on the Fountain Lake Restoration Project. As most of you know, Brennan has finished up in the Edgewater Bay area and has moved the large dredge, the Victor Burr, into the main body of the lake. Along with that, they've also moved a smaller dredge into Danes Bay. So at this time, there's 2 dredges on Fountain Lake. They both run to one booster, which is then takes the material out to the confined disposal facility. So they've moved the dredges in June and now have just started to proceed dredging probably about a week ago. Everything is going pretty well. They've had some issues with one of their generators on the Victor Burr, but other than that, things are going well. We did have a few incidents on the 4th of July weekend with the pipe that's in the channel area, where a few boats hit the pipe with their props. So we are working with those landowners to take care of any issues that there may be. And we also had Brennan put quite a few more buoys marking the location of the pipe, and also put some additional signage up of where to cross the pipe within the channel area. Other than that, everything has been going pretty well. Right now they are pumping to CDF cell 1. We still have some room in there. So any questions regarding the Fountain Lake Restoration Project? All right, hearing none, I'm going to move on to item C is a motion to approve Ramball Engineering and oversight for the Fountain Lake Restoration Project dredge contract number 2. Again, this is a contract with Ramball, which used to be NRT, which also used to be OBG. They have been on this project since, looking back at their previous contracts, 2014 is when we first hired NRT, and we continue to use their support and engineering for project oversight, as well as engineering and so on and so forth. So in front of you, you should have a contract for project oversight of the dredge contract 2. Again, the cost on this is $123,239. So looking for a motion to approve that contract.
So moved.
A motion made by Manager Kramer. Do I have a second? Yep, everybody's muted. You have to unmute.
Second.
Second.
Second by Manager Pastorius. Is there any discussion? This contract, Andy, is good for what, 2 years then, approximately, for the duration of the?
Yes,
phase?
this would take us through the duration of the dredge project for contract 2, which should finish up fall of 2021.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, call roll.
Manager Pistorius,
Aye.
Manager Kramer,
Aye.
Manager Bakken, Manager Bakken,
Aye.
Manager DeBoer,
Aye.
Manager Hanson,
Aye.
Manager Pasuski,
Aye.
Manager Delger.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you. Item D is a combined disposal facility CDF cells 2 and 3 update. As you know, we had a berm failure on cell 2, which was supposed to be completed June. Substantial completion was due June 1st with final completion July 1st. However, with that berm failure, we have not seen substantial completion. However, they did complete last night reconstructing the clay portion of the berm. So really all they have left now is just to put the topsoil on it and seed it and a few finishing touches. So hopefully by the end of the week, we will have a cell 2 that is constructed. Also at the end of the week, we have DNR Dam Safety coming down to inspect the berm. So hopefully here within a week and a half, 2 weeks, we can get the okay to start putting material or at least the discharge water into cell 2. One thing to note, there is going to be some dispute on the berm failure, and that's probably going to play itself out at the end of this contract. So we'll have to keep you guys updated on the status of that as we move into finalizing this contract with Vite. Cell 3, again, is about 8 feet from completion. If you remember, though, they do have until, I believe, November to finish up cell 3. However, they do want to try to get out there as soon as they can. Again, they've been out there now 2.5 years constructing this. So hopefully, as this moves forward, we can get this both these facilities built and good to go for Brennan to start pumping slurry into. So, any questions on CDF cells 2 or 3? All right, hearing none, I'm moving to item E, which is a motion to approve Ramball's proposal for professional services for cells 2 and 3, oversight and engineering. Again, we originally had a contract with Ramball that went for 2 years, which was supposed to be the completion of both cells 2 and 3. However, we both know that we're not complete, and it's very important for us to have one Ramball's representative that's on site every day to make sure Vite is doing stuff correctly, and that Braun, their subcontractor for compaction of the berms, is doing stuff correctly. So we are looking at a contract price of $72,183 to continue the oversight of Vite on cells 2 and 3, along with all the final engineering and work with the dam safety and final permit process for both cells 2 and 3.
So with that, do we have a motion to approve?
Correct.
So moved.
Motion made by Manager DeBoer. Do I have a second?
Suski, second.
Suski, second. Do I have a discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, please call roll.
Manager Pistorius?
Aye.
Manager Kramer?
Aye.
Manager Bakken?
Here we go again. Aye.
Manager DeBoer?
Aye.
Manager Hanson?
Aye.
Manager Pasuski?
Aye.
Manager Delger?
Aye, motion carried.
And just a follow-up regarding cells 2 and 3. If you look in the claims, you will see that Vite's payment was reduced by $30,000. That was due to liquidated damages in the amount of $1,000 a day from the substantial completion date. So from June 1st to July 1st, the district implemented a liquidated damages of $1,000 a day. So you'll see a deduct of $30,000. Also to note, you'll see with this price from Ramball, this does not include any of the costs that are associated with the berm failure, either from their geotechnical engineers on Ramball staff or their representative on site. All those costs have been and will be calculated and will be determined at the end of the contract on who pays for that. It is under the district's understanding with the way the contract is written that Vite will be responsible for those costs. But again, we'll see how that plays out at the end of the contract. So that's it for that. Item F is the legislative update, and I believe Judy's on, so I'm going to let her roll with the legislative update.
Hey, good morning, everyone. We are on day 2 of the second special session here. And events are going to kind of unfold. And as they unfold, we'll know a little bit more if we're going to get to all of the business done during this special session or under the legislation for the governor's peacetime emergency powers. They'll have to come back in August if he continues to extend his peacetime emergency powers. So if we don't see anything final happen this special session, some of us think it's not going to get finalized this special session, that we'll still have to wait till August. However, unlike the first special session where they came in and they said, oh, we're going to be done on Friday, even if we're not done. They have scheduled next Monday, the 20th, for additional floor sessions, at least in the Senate. And today's kind of going to be the revelatory day in terms of how things are going to proceed. So having said that, it's been one of the most difficult years, more so because we've all been working remotely and lobbying remotely, and everything is remote. So it's just been a real challenge. Supposedly, and you'll maybe see in the papers that there is an agreement on a bonding bill, and they are discussing it right now in the House Ways and Means Committee this morning. Just to get some context, in May, and the governor, there were multiple bills that funded the Fountain Lake restoration projects in the May work. Those bills, the size of those bills were about the governor's size, which was $2 billion plus. The Senate, in particular, because they negotiate with the House on the overall size, they came to an agreement of approximately $1.3 billion in size. So that means, unfortunately, a lot of projects that were in the $2 billion bill are no longer in any bill. And that includes our project. And I'm beyond disappointed that it's landing that way at this time. But as I said at the beginning, it's not a done deal. The House GOP has not yet signed off on it. I think the bill will be up later today on the floor. They're going back in at 5 tonight. So we're gonna just have to wait and see how this agreement actually plays out, because I don't think there was agreement by the minority caucuses in either the House or Senate on this bill and what's in this bill. And absent support from the minority parties, Senate DFL and House GOP, they don't have the votes to pass this bill. So, it was negotiated behind closed doors literally for 2 months. We happened to get our hands on a spreadsheet late in the game, but there was really no public input into the negotiations. I have been in contact with Senator Sparks and Representative Bennett weekly or bi-weekly all the way through this negotiating time, and people were pretty much left out of the loop. So, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I hesitate to use the word optimistic in this year about anything. But since the bill is not actually agreed upon by all the parties, and our 2 legislators are in those minority parties that need to be brought along, they are still working to try to find a way to put the project in the bill. So it's not over till it's over, and it's not all the way over yet. So I wish I had really great news this morning. I feel really bad that I have this news, but that's kind of where we're sitting. As I said, it's in Ways and Means Committee right now, and we'll see how things go the rest of the day. be happy to try to answer any questions.
Anyone have any questions from Judy?
Well,
All right,
thanks
I
for,
don't hear any, Judy, so
That's
thank you
fine.
for your time.
yeah, thanks for keeping us up on everything. Doing a good job.
Thank you. All right.
All right, so the last item under myself is the motion to approve the minutes for the June 30th, 2020 Shell Rock River Watershed District's Personnel Committee meeting. And this is getting to all of the performance reviews that the administrator did for staff and that the managers did for the administrator. I just kind of want to read what my recommendations were to the Personnel Committee, and then let anybody from the Personnel Committee who would like to discuss the minutes. So it says, Dear Personnel Committee, after careful review of the salary survey and completion of the district staff's performance review, my recommendations would be as follows, and this is following the performance review that the district board approved last year. Number one, our education and outreach coordinator and administrative assistants would receive a 4 to 6% review increase. Our financial tech would receive a 1 to 2% review increase. Our technical specialist 1 would receive a 3 to 4% performance review increase, and our program and project manager would receive a 4 to 6% performance review increase. And again, that's based on the new performance review structure that the board put in place. However, due to the recent events in the new year with COVID-19 and uncertain economic times, it is my recommendation that there is a 0% increase in wages for all Shell Rock employees. This is a tough decision to make due to the high quality of work that the district staff has performed this year. At this time, I also recommend no increase in the employees' health insurance. I have reviewed the budget, and if no changes are made, the district's personnel budget will stay at $331,538.28 in 2020. This is still lower than the personnel budget of 2017, which was $407,592.06. However, I will be asking in December of 2020, before our budget is set for the 2021, that we look at a cost of living increase. Thank you for your time and consideration on these matters. Sincerely, Andy Henschel, Administrator. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Mick or Brad, who sat on the committee.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. We got a really good staff. They've done a really good job through this whole pandemic. I've been in there a couple of times, you know, with talking with them as much as I could, and still keeping the distance and friendly thing. And they seems like they've done an excellent job through this whole thing, and hopefully we can keep that up and eventually get this other end of it caught up. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, and I agree with Mick there that staff is just doing an excellent job. I mean, the district overall is, you know, the projects have just been win after win. The whole staff is doing a great job for our community. So thank you very much. It's appreciated by many people. I do get comments from people about how many great things the Watershed District is doing right now. All thanks to you.
Are there any other comments? Anybody want to say anything?
Yeah, Joe, I would agree with everything you said. I don't think this epidemic is going to resolve itself anytime quick, but if it does, I think we need to be in a position to, you know, re-review what your recommendation would be. But unfortunately, our economy is in a tough shape right now, so I think it's appropriate.
Okay. You have anything else, Andy?
Nope, Mr. Chair, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Then we'll go on to item number 5, technical specialist Scott Christensen.
Manager Delger?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but I need a motion to approve those minutes.
Oh, okay. That's a good thing you reminded me of that. I need a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Moved by
Joe, so moved.
Joe seconded. Any discussion? Please call roll.
Manager Pistorius?
Aye.
Manager Kramer?
Aye.
Manager Bakken?
Scott?
Aye.
Manager DeBoer?
Aye.
Manager Hanson?
Aye.
Manager Pasuski?
Aye.
Manager Delger?
Aye. Motion carried. Now we'll go on to technical specialist Scott Christensen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First item I have is a upper and lower twin project update. So we finished the upper twin pump station. That was finalized 100% completion and commissioned, turned on, everything's working fine. And that closed out in June. We had gotten an extension on the grant, so we're looking at possibly extending the contract deadline. However, since it's already complete, we're not looking to extend anything as far as completion timelines. So that one is complete. That's been a 5-year project. Lower Twin Part 1 fish barrier with the rock berm fish barrier and the catwalk structure on the DNR sheet pile dam. That is also 100% complete with final seeding and touch-up work finished in June. That was along the same contract deadline as Upper Twin Pump Station. So we still got a grant extension on that, but we'll be looking to close that one out this summer as well. And just to summarize those two projects, both those lake systems are DNR wildlife management area lakes. So DNR has full autonomy over the water level control, and they're set to conduct a drawdown this year for common carp reduction and also to increase the aquatic vegetation and overall habitat quality of Upper Twin Lake this summer. Lower Twin Part 2, if you recall, we bifurcated the Lower Twin Fish Barrier project into 2 different projects. We had some willing landowners downstream that were kind enough to sign easements with us and let us do some stream restoration work that extended from Highway 69 down to the old Creamery Road in the city of Twin Lakes. That project right now is at 80% complete with touch-up work in the city of Twin Lakes property. Just got some scrub trees to take down. And we also have some work on farther upstream to fix a rock riffle structure, which is fish habitat. And we'll have a final walkthrough with Minnesota DNR Eco Waters Resources and the consulting engineer before we go over the final 100% completion, give sign off on that. That will be the only project of these 3 that will have an extended contract deadline due to the conditions they faced this spring, that early thaw, really fast thaw. They couldn't key in some of the habitat structures as well as we had liked. So they'll be going back this fall after first frost and restabilizing some of those areas. What kind of questions do you guys have, Upper and Lower Twin?
I don't have any questions, but I have driven by the project and it looks pretty good.
Yeah, we're really happy that we were able to get some more work out of it and had the willing landowners downstream. That definitely helps.
Yep.
Well, if there are no other questions, my next update is the water monitoring program update. Last year, we had signed a surface water assessment grant contract with the MPCA, which focused more along the lines of stressors or certain pollutants that have a higher probability of stressing a water body out, such as E. coli and the nitrates and phosphates. So that one has been nixed. We are focusing this year entirely on providing supplemental data for the MPCA and completing their total maximum daily load, which has been in the works since 2008 and 9. Part of that includes dissolved oxygen flux between day and night on the Shark River. A lot of the data that was included in the original TMDL was suspect. So we've just been focusing on the quality assurance and quality control of the data that we're providing to the MPCA for their review of our total maximum daily load. That'll also expand on carbonaceous biological oxygen demand, which is sediment oxygen demand, and focuses more along the lines of the growing season. So June 1st through September 30th, we're looking to collect 12 to 20 samples on the Shark River, as well as adding continuous data logging equipment on 8 different sites along the Shark River to help determine any anoxic conditions or detrimental conditions to the wildlife that are present in the Shark River. And along the lines of the Shark River water monitoring program, we have narrowed everything down since the start of May to cover our minimum pollutant loading estimates into Fountain, Albert Lee, and Pickerel Lakes. So we have really narrowed it down to the major tributaries, the Huck 12s, some of those county drainage systems that produce more of the nutrient loading estimates, and everything else into Fountain Lake, especially with Wedge Creek and Bancroft Creek being the main contributors. So we're focusing more on just covering the basics this year, not doing a whole lot outside of our normal parameters, just focusing on our quality control and providing supplemental data. Does anybody have any questions?
Questions? Very good, Scott. We have no questions. That's all you have. We'll go on to the next, number 6. And that is manager's report. City County Liaison is, I am that, and I have been keeping up on their agendas. There's been nothing there that been a need to worry about or needs any attention from the watershed. So I have not reached out to the county or the city on anything at this time. And, but if something does come up, I will. That's all I got. Citizens Advisory Committee, Joe, you have anything?
If that time is kind of a blur, but if I recall, I don't think there was a meeting this last month. Am I right, Courtney, or am I wrong?
You are right. We didn't have a meeting this last month.
Yeah, the months are just kind of blending together, so nothing to report.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Are there any managers' items? Any manager has something that they want to bring up?
Oh, that dredge is right in back of my house and it's noisy. Is there something you can do about that?
Yeah, we can buy you some earplugs.
It's all for a good cause.
We could tell them just to go around your place and leave all the sediment right there. You wouldn't like that, though.
Do you want
No.
that as a motion?
So how's it going in Day and Bay then? Andy?
Pretty good. I mean, it was pretty shallow back there where they put it in. So they sort of had to actually dredge themselves a spot where they could actually move. But everything's going pretty well. They're actually, running into some sandier material, which definitely helps us in our CDF. It's a lot cleaner, so we don't get those high total suspended solid numbers. But at the same token, the big dredge is in the main lake, so that is a little bit more of a silty muck, I'll call it, you know, and they're pushing all that water through both dredges through the same lines. So everything's going well in Danes Bay, and you know, hopefully, I think they're thinking about 35 to 45 days they'll be in and out of Danes Bay. So
the people that are on Danes Bay will be able to appreciate some of that this year already, which is good.
yes.
Any other manager items? Hearing none, we'll go on to pardon me. Oop. Somebody say something?
Oh, you're good.
Okay. Upcoming meetings. We have an executive committee meeting right after this one, right?
Correct. Yep.
The office?
10 o'clock here at the office.
10 o'clock, okay. For the executive committee people. And then we have to schedule a budget workshop for everyone. So if we could get some input from the managers on what works or what doesn't work, so we can all be there for that, I would appreciate that, and get that to Leah as soon as possible, or we can talk about it right now.
Yes, Mr. Chair, and I'd like to try to have that meeting in the next week or two. So, you know, if we can get some feedback from the board managers, what dates work in the next week or two, and also what times, you know, do we want to have, you know, do we want to have an 8:30 meeting, or, you know, do we want to push it, you know, into the evening, 4:30, 5 o'clock meeting? Again, totally up to the managers, but would like to have this done here in the next week or two.
Okay, well, this week won't work for me, so it's gonna have to be next week if I'm gonna be there. Or whatever else, what everyone else has.
Yeah, I'm open next week.
Okay,
Have to be early next week for me, Monday or Tuesday.
Next
Brad, you
week,
got a
I'm open anytime except
preference?
Thursday morning.
okay, it broke up, Brad, or somebody.
Next week, I'm available anytime except early Thursday morning.
Al or Mike, do you have times at work?
You choose. I'm good.
Week sometime should be open. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week.
Okay, with that, do we have, Leah, can you put out a couple of dates for information out there to all the managers and see what works for everyone?
Yes, I will do that.
Okay. Uh-oh, sounds like it's time to quit. Is there anything else we need to talk about? Hearing that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Made by Manager DeBoer. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Manager Kramer made the second. Would you please call roll?
Manager Pistorius,
Aye.
Manager Kramer,
Aye.
Manager Bakken, Manager Bakken, Manager DeBoer,
Aye.
Manager Hanson,
He's on the phone, Leah.
okay, Manager Pasuski,
Aye.
Manager Delger.
Aye. Motion carried. We are adjourned.
All right,
Thank you
thanks,
so much,
everyone.
everybody. Everybody stay safe.